off, I just want to say, ignore the room. We are currently in the middle of a lot of house projects, and we're trying to actually sell here and move. So in that process, this room is kind of our junk room, and it's where I have my computer, so that's where I do my editing. So I just wanted to kind of touch in on this video that I'm actually working on right now. So I actually just got home from work, and I had bought a new drone, and I talked to my wife about going down to the property to try and get some aerial footage for I actually wanted it to make an intro for my YouTube videos, because the property down there is just so beautiful right now. It's like 60 acres, or the entire property is only 66 acres, and probably, I don't know, probably close to half of it is just like overgrown CRP, brushy, briar patches, and it's just so super thick. But this year, I've been hunting for almost 10 years now, so the property is the most grown up that I have ever seen it, because the landowner has stopped brush hogging the whole field, and the trees are getting more mature, and it's just really beautiful down there with the two ponds. So I thought it would make some really cool footage, and since we was going down there and it's in the evening, and it's also the property where my #1 buck from last year was living, and I had been getting some pictures of a buck that I believe to be him this year, I said, well, let's take the camera and some chairs, and we'll see what we see. We was walking out to actually go sit up after I had taken some clips with the drone, and as we was walking down, we spotted him in the bean field with a couple of other bucks, another really good buck actually. So I got some footage of him, and it's not the best footage, but I thought it was pretty cool to share with you guys. It was a pretty fun night. I really wasn't expecting to see him, because it's so thick, but he was just right out there in the bean field as soon as we walked in. So we sat up and got some footage, and I just wanted to touch in, because my little outro there, I kind of explained what happened with the whole drone scenario, and I was pretty upset about that, so I didn't really touch base too much on the night that we had. But
that's a giant up on the hill too.
then also, I wanted to mention the buck, the very last clip. You can't really see him all that well because he was in the taller, CRP. He wasn't in the bean field, but that is a deer that my wife actually, Tristan, actually, pointed out in some trail cam pictures. And she was like, "Hey, I think we'll turn into something special." And I was like, to myself, I thought, he's kind of like a smaller, just above a basket rack mainframe 7-point, and I didn't think he was going to turn into much based off the first pictures that we got of him. But then she got this footage of him in the field. Actually, as I was looking for my drone, she walked to the other end of the property, and she made it I think she said 60, 70 yards from this deer without spooking him. Got some pretty cool footage of him, picking up his head. And she is pretty sure, based off of this video and some recent pictures that we just got, he's turning into something special. I mean, he has a whole lot of mass and a whole lot of character, and I think that he's going to turn into a really nice buck. So she is potentially going to have him as her #1 target, but we'll see how that goes. Because I'm pretty sure if a bigger one comes in, she'll change that. I mean, who wouldn't? But so far, the first buck that was, in the field, I'm about 99% positive that it's Mr. Misunderstood from last year, and I'm sure, if I harvest him, or maybe even if I don't harvest him, I'll share some footage that I have of that deer last year. I came really close to killing him last year. If it is him, this year he lost about a 6 or 7 inch flyer off of his right G2, and he was a really good looking deer last year too. This year it looks like he has added some width and some mass. I hope that he gets as tall as he was last year, because if it's the same deer, last year he was about 14 inch tines. He was a huge mainframe 8-point with a 6 or 7 inch flyer. So I'm excited to see what they turn into, and really excited to chase them this year. I just thought I'd throw together this little video. It's not of the best quality or anything like that, for you guys to watch and see how our summer is going. We're just, shooting our bows, getting things ready to for the deer season. We're both really excited, and I'm really excited to have this YouTube channel now to share with you guys. And yep, we're looking forward to it. Stick with us. Hopefully we can put some of them down this fall. So we packed up after work tonight. It is Friday, July the 7th, and I've been getting some really good pictures of a target buck of mine, and also a couple other really good bucks out here on one of our properties. And the trip out here was definitely 100% successful, and also 100% unsuccessful. So I had just purchased a drone to try and get some aerial views of this property, and it was just a cheap drone. I can't afford a nice expensive drone, thankfully. I mean, guess not thankfully, because an expensive drone probably wouldn't have had happen what I just had happen. But I had some really good clips, none of them saved, and the last clip that I was taking, I was up pretty high, and the wind started drifting the drone, and I lost connection, and now I can't find the drone. So it's crash landed somewhere out here, and yep, so that's the unsuccessful part. Kind of sucks, but all in all, I'm really happy with what we saw. I mean, we got out of the car and walked down over the hill where we was planning on just taking an aerial video, and I was wanting to go sit up on this bean field, but from down here you can kind of see a little bit of the bean field, and the first buck that we see is my target buck, and he's I don't know, 100 yards from us
maybe.
Got some really good footage of him and the bachelor group that he was with. And then as I was looking for the drone, my wife went back and filmed another good buck on the other side of the property. So looking really good out here. Really disappointed about that drone footage, It was pretty sweet, and I was going to use it as like an intro video. But you'll have that.
We'll find it.
I think it's kind of a lost hope right now.
Optimistic. Gotta stay optimistic.
We might be able to look for a little bit. I mean,
It was worth the $70 to come out here and see this.
yeah, that was the main goal, was to get some drone footage. And I was like, well, maybe we'll catch a glimpse of these bucks out here, and
Get that close to that buck. Still in velvet.
we sure did.
Pretty cool.
What do you think, Macelyn? What do you think about today's trip?
She said, I'm hungry.
She says, duh, duh, duh.
Such a dork. He's your kid. That was
Such a
So
beautiful night, though. I mean, it would be just a little bit better if I still had my drone.